Hi there. We're here at AAA Hobbies in Magnolia, New Jersey. We're here for our annual, well, not our annual. We are here for our weekly Facebook Live session. And I thought, since I'm on my own this week, my camera person is on vacation. I was on vacation last week, so I apologize for not doing a live session last week. I put up a post. I think everybody knew that we were going to skip a week. So we're back. We do this every Sunday at 1 o'clock if I'm here. And I thought this week what I would do is talk a little bit about a feature that we do in the store, AAA Hobbies. If you guys have questions as I go along here, please post them. Uh, if you want to post a question after, post it. I will answer your questions. We are on Route 30 in Magnolia, New Jersey. We are a full service hobby store. We carry all kinds of plastic kits. We carry crafts, toys, paint, art supplies, anything you could want to keep yourself busy, we have it. So, what I thought I would talk about today is a feature that we do in the store called Manufacturer of the Month. The Manufacturer of the Month is kind of at my discretion. I walk out and I look around and I try to find a manufacturer that not a lot of people are aware of or that I don't think gets enough attention. And I think that these are manufacturers that make really great, high quality, diverse products that I'd like more people like yourself to be aware of so that when you come in, you can check them out for yourself. So let me put my little sign away here. And if you notice on my sign, Manufacturer of the Month, we give you 10% off all month on products by this manufacturer. You can't combine this discount with other discounts, obviously, but if you come in and buy a product from the Manufacturer of the Month, we'll give you 10% off on that product. And we do it monthly. It starts first of the month to the end of the month. This month's Manufacturer of the Month, little drum roll, is Eduard. Eduard Models. Eduard Models have been around probably 30 years now, probably since the early 90s. And I have one of their catalogs here. You can see there's a Spitfire on the front of the catalog. They've done a lot of Spitfires lately, and they're top notch. This is one of the nicest 48 scale models that I've seen in a long time. So if you come on in, I'm almost out of Eduard catalogs at this point, but usually when we do Manufacturer of the Month, I place catalogs out so you can come in and grab a catalog. And it's a beautiful book. I mean, you can't really see it unless I hold it up here, but you can see it's got great artwork of all their kits. It shows you all the photo etch parts and resin parts. So, great catalog. So, let me put that down. That being said, Eduard Models. Eduard is a company from Czechoslovakia. And Eduard, they started by producing photo etch parts. And let me grab one of these here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. They started as a manufacturer of aftermarket detail parts, which means you would go out and buy your kit by Airfix, Hasegawa, Tamiya, whoever. And if you really wanted to take that model to the next level, you would buy an Eduard detailing set. And the photo etch parts, as you can see, the color of them here. It's photo etch brass. And photo etch brass is a super thin sheet of detail parts. And the reason they do this is when you mold or get a lot of shine on there, when you injection mold parts for a plastic model, let me grab a sprue of parts here. There's only so much detail you can do in an injection mold. In other words, the parts can only be so fine. And sometimes on a scale model, when you get down into the smaller scales, 48, 72 scale, the plastic parts that they can injection mold aren't as small as the real thing would be in that scale. In other words, like, for example, wiring harnesses on an engine or interior parts in a cockpit, throttle levers, and things like that, which people actually do that. They go into the small scale and they want that detail. Well, a photo etch sheet is fine enough that you can get really, really small parts. Think about the mast or radar array on a ship. If you mold that in plastic, it's just going to look bulbous and out of scale and just doesn't look like the real thing. But if you mold or if you do it in photo etch, it's super fine and it actually looks like a radar screen or a mast or whatever. Railings, ship railings. Most people, when they do serious ship modeling, always use photo etch brass for ship railings. And the way photo etch brass works is they make artwork for the parts. And these are for a B17. These are the landing flaps for the back of a B17. I got one of those over here. I'll show you later. And what they do is they draw the artwork, and then it's called photo etch because they etch away the negative areas around the parts with a chemical process. And what you're left with is brass parts. So that's where Eduard started. They started by doing photo etch brass. And they went from that to doing details in resin that went with the photo etch brass. And let me see what I have here. Hold this up here. Hopefully you can see it. These are engines for a B17. And the engine itself is made out of a resin part. And when you look at this photograph, I think you can see it. You can see the photo etch brass detail on the engines. So this is a combination. They call these brassin. Brass parts, photo etch brass, and resin parts. So brass, resin, brassin. So these are combination kits of resin detailing parts with photo etch brass. And that's where Eduard really made their name, was doing these detailing sets. And in the store here, AAA Hobbies, we distribute or carry every set of photo etch brass, resin, all the Eduard. We have the complete line of Eduard. And people come in and they're looking for it. And sometimes they don't ask, but you have to ask because Eduard makes so much of this stuff that it's impossible to keep it all in the store. We have it in the warehouse in the back. So if you have an Eduard thing you want, you come in and you ask me, I'll look it up and I'll go in the back and get it for you. I have every one of them. If it's made and it's in current production, we have it. We are the U.S. distribution point for Eduard. We have it all. So Eduard, let me step back here. Eduard started out making photo etch brass, resin detailing with brass parts. They also make masks, which are, let's see, I have one of those here too. When you build a model and you need to mask off like the cockpit glass, they call it a greenhouse usually because it's usually a complex shape that has a lot of ribs and things on it that you have to paint the color of the aircraft. Well, these mask sets, and this doesn't look like much in the package because it just looks like a sheet here, yellow. But what these are these masks are specific to different aircraft. This is the B-17 sheet, and it has all the little windows and canopy glass and everything perforated on this sheet. So you just peel them off, and they're masks that are made to the shape of the windows and so forth. So you don't have to put masking tape on and trim it all out, cut around it and everything. You just peel these off and put them right on the windows. So it makes masking all that glass super easy. So Eduard does masks. So we have photo etch brass, brass and resin, masks. So what else does Eduard do? Eduard does model kits. Now, in the beginning, most of the Eduard products were other manufacturers' aircraft kits. Like I know they did a lot of Hasegawa, and they did some of the Ukrainian or Russian manufacturers. They would import the plastic from those manufacturers and put their detail parts in the kits and sell them. And I built a few of those, and they were nice kits. But recently, I'd say probably over the last 10 years or so, Eduard has started doing their own tooling. And their tooling is second to no one. I mean, when we talk about Tamiya and Hasegawa, people say they're the best. No one matches them. Well, I got news for you. Eduard's plastics now, their tooling, or their I can't think of the word I want. Their own tooling that they do, their original tooling, is just as good as the other manufacturers, if not better. I've seen reviews of their new Spitfire kits that say nobody matches them for the fineness of the recessed panel lines and the detail on them and the photo etch parts and so forth. So Eduard makes a lot of different types of plastic kits. And when I say that, it's mostly aircraft kits. They do aircraft. And we carry all the aircraft kits here at AAA Hobbies, Magnolia, New Jersey on Route 30. Don't forget, Eduard is the manufacturer of the month. Come in, check out Eduard. Get 10% off your kit before the end of March. They make different scales of aircraft kits. They make 1/72nd scale, and this is one of their newest kits, and I really like this kit. Eduard makes an effort to do themes and products that complement each other, And this one, they took 3 of their World War I kits. They make all different eras. They make World War I, World War II, current jets, you know, all kinds of things. But this is a set, and it's called Du Dach nicht. And that is the slogan that was printed on Ernst Udit's German aircraft in World War I. Ernst Udit was a German pilot. And Du Dach nicht, I'm not quite sure what it means, but I think it means, do you remember me? Maybe. Don't quote me on that. He liked to tantalize, you know, the other pilots. They'd see his airplane, know who it was, and try to go after him, and he would shoot them down. But what they did was they combined, this is a limited edition kit. Eduard does different levels of kits, and I'll tell you about those. This one includes 3 different aircraft that Ernst Udit flew in World War I. It includes an Albatross right here. I think it's an Albatross D3, a Fokker D7, which was the last aircraft he flew, and a Fokker triplane. And it's really cool because they give you all the different paint schemes that he flew in those aircraft. You can see them on the side there. So you get decals for all the different aircraft he flew. There's the Albatrosses. And LO on his aircraft, that was his wife, was girlfriend at the time, who became his wife. That was her name, Lo. So let me open this up real quick and show you what's really cool about this. Obviously, you've got all your different aircraft here, or 3 different airplanes. And that's cool in itself, getting 3 different airplanes that were flown by the same pilot with all the markings that he flew in different periods of the war. You get a really great instruction sheet that has a lot of great history in it, all about the pilot, about the aircraft, and so forth. You get really, really comprehensive decal sheets. As you can see, it has lozenge camouflage for the wings. It has all the different markings. You know, there's like 4 sheets of decals in here. Lots and lots. Rib decals, everything you need to do all those aircraft. Plus, you get what we were talking about, photo etch parts for each aircraft. Lots and lots of great parts. And you get masks. These are the masks for the windscreens on the aircraft. Plus, and I didn't know this, and I think this is one of the coolest things going, they put in a small medallion. This is the Blue Max. This was the award that was given to German pilots in World War I when they scored 20 aircraft, 20 kills. So if you got 20 and above, you got a Blue Max. Like Richthofen had a Blue Max, Ernst Udit, Bolka, some of the other pilots. So they give you this little medal, which is really cool because if you did the 3 aircraft on a base, you could take this medal and mount it there and have a nice little display. So that's a limited edition kit. The limited edition kits are probably the top of the line for Eduard. You know, these are always themed. They always have tons of decals. Most of the time, they're multi-aircraft kits, and they're themed. And I think that it's really interesting to buy a kit that has some history in it that you can read about and find out about a pilot. So that's a limited edition kit, and I forgot to put the decals back in, or the instructions. Eduard also makes what are called Profi pack kits, and I'll grab this one here. This is their newest Spitfire kit, and it's a Profi pack edition. The Profi pack editions, and someone told me this, I'm not quite sure if it's true, but they say Profi stands for professional finish. So Profi pack gives you more stuff in it than a regular model. They'll give you the aircraft kit. They'll give you some resin parts maybe. Photo etch parts are always in a Profi pack kit. The masks are there. So everything you need to do this at a higher level is in a Profi pack kit. And they also sell, you know, the same kits usually in what's called a weekend edition. And weekend edition kits are basically the aircraft kit with a set of decals for like 1 or 2 aircraft, and that's it. So in other words, this is like your standard model that you would go and buy that has the plastic parts, the decals, the instructions. So weekend is the starter line, and then you go to Profi pack, and then limited edition is the highest line. They also do what's called a Royal Edition kit every now and then that has something special in it. Don't see a whole lot of Royal kits right now, but they do those occasionally. So Eduard, great models. So for those of you just joining, we're here at AAA Hobbies in Magnolia, New Jersey, and we're talking about the manufacturer of the month. All month long, all through March. You get 10% off of Eduard Models. Eduard Just really, really high quality aircraft kits and detail sets. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the camera here. And like I say, I don't have my camera person, so I'm kind of doing this on my own. And I'm going to bring it down here a little bit. And you can see something that I've been working on for the store. I've got a video coming. I guess I should have this up a little bit. I got a video coming on this, on the build, and we're going to paint and prime and putty. And I think maybe next week's Facebook Live will be about putties, because I'm getting ready with this aircraft kit. I'll bring it over here. This is a B17 that I've been working on, the Memphis Belle. This is an HK model. And this will give you an idea of why Eduard's so great. This is a different manufacturer's model aircraft. This is a 1/48 scale B17 by HK Models. And as you can see, I've put it all together. And everything's assembled. And I'm at the point now where I'm going to mask off the windows and things and do some puttying on it to fill any seam lines that I need to fill, and then prime it. So next week we'll probably talk about prepping the model, like putting the masks on and doing some putty work on the model before you prime. Then the following week maybe we'll do primer. So I'm kind of using this model to do different live videos. So we'll put him down, and the reason I showed you this B17 was because I went into the back and I grabbed a whole bunch of Eduard accessories that go with it. And it kind of blew me away how many things they make for this model. And you can see I've got a lot of the brass in boxes here. I've got tires. So if you're the ultimate modeler and you really want to take things to the ultimate level, you can improve the detailing. And I'll tell you what, that HK model doesn't need a whole lot. You know, photo etch things and whatnot would be great to add some detail to it. But overall, that's a really nice kit. But I think that, you know, if I was doing it for a contest or I really wanted to build it top notch, I would add some of these detail sets in. I have new tires with a different tread pattern in them for it. I have the Superchargers that go in the engine on the wings. These are a little more detailed. I have, and these I'd probably use. These are 50 caliber machine guns, and they're a combination of resin and photo etch, so you can get, you know, cooling jackets that you can actually see through the cooling holes and so forth on them. So that's Eduard. I've got a set of undercarriage legs in bronze. They make bronze parts to replace the undercarriage landing gear legs and things, and these are really, really super. I have engines. I showed you these earlier. This is a set of engines for the B17. So lots of brass in. I have just tons, and this really got me. I went back and I pulled all the different photo etch parts for the B17 and 1/48 scale. I've got a cockpit set. I've got the radio compartment set, and these are all pre-painted photo etch. You put those in there, and I mean, they look super. You can almost read the writing on these things. All the radios and so forth. Little wooden table that goes into the radio compartment. So I have the cockpit, the radio compartment. I have the nose interior. You can see there's photo etch on both sides of these. I've got the waist section where the gunners are. I've got wooden floors that go inside where the gunners are, up in the nose area. I've got detailing sets for the engines. These are like what's in the resin box. I've got the ammo feed chutes that go inside to the machine guns. I've got the undercarriage and exterior detail set. So that's just a ton of detailing parts for a B17. I mean, if you really want to do it, I've got these two, which are, I showed you the flaps earlier. These are the Bombay. I've got the full Bombay detail set. So if you really want to take your B17 or your aircraft kit to contest level, to the top of the top, look into Eduard. Eduard makes just really, really high quality stuff. So that's this week's live. I thought we'd talk about the manufacturer of the month, take a look at the different Eduard products. If you go to our YouTube page also, AAA YouTube page, there are some videos about Eduard Profi Pack, you know, the difference between the different levels of Eduard kits. If you want to check that out, give you an idea of what you're getting into. But come on down to AAA Hobbies in Magnolia, New Jersey. We're on Route 30. Talk to me, talk to the guys up front. They all know about Eduard. They know about the different kits. And check them out. I think that if you're into plastic modeling and you want to take your level to the next step, check out Eduard. I think you'll be really pleased with them. So until next week, Send me some info, send me some comments, let me know the things you'd like to see, and I'll be happy to do whatever. Like I say, I think that next week we'll probably look at something a little more practical, hands-on. Maybe with this B17, we'll look at prepping it for some paint. That would be masks and primer and such, and putty. So until next week, keep modeling, and I'll see you on Facebook Live next Sunday at 1 o'clock. And thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, AAA Hobbies, Route 30 in Magnolia, New Jersey. Come on down and see us. We're open every day.